going to record the session as well. I'll send you a recording so you can, use it on, if you have social media or
Sure.
YouTube or whatever. You can use it as you wish.
How much work do you put into social media, LinkedIn, that kind of stuff for yourself to grow your business?
Yeah. So what I do, the system I have is on Monday, I pretty much plan out my content for the week. So I'll spend probably about an hour or two. I like video because it's easier for me and I'm used to presenting in that way, but I'll do some written posts and stuff like that. So I'll prepare my content, take about an hour or two on Monday to plan out the week, and then I'll post it throughout the week. And I try to do a live video, either interview like this or just like a kind of mini training for myself about once per week.
Should I have had a copy of my book here? Do you ever want me to show the title of the book or not?
If you have it, then yes.
Let me go grab it. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay.
Hey, Derek, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me almost as good as, can you hear me just about as good before as you do now?
Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah.
Okay, because the odd time I might just drop this and talk, right? Okay.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Okay, so are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Yeah, give me 30 seconds.
Okay.
My phone is off. Great.
All right. Okay, so I will press go live here. All right, says we are live. I want to welcome everybody here. We got a super great episode here, author interview with Mark McGregor. He's a co-author of the book True North with Lynda Dobbin-Turner. And how are you doing today, Mark?
Great. I'm alive and well here in southern Germany. Snow all around me and looking forward to the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, snow is starting to melt here, so that's nice. Winter can be a bit long, but that's wonderful. And yeah, so glad you could join us today. Love, being able to speak with you about your new book that you have. It's called True North. And the premise of the book is a lot of it has to do on leadership. So can you tell us a bit about your background and your experience with leadership and leadership training?
Yeah. So I start out in the world of hockey. And actually for the Winnipeggers, I was the University of Manitoba Bison. I was the captain, was there 5 years. And Didn't make the NHL, wasn't tough enough, couldn't get my teeth broken often enough. And I headed over to Europe and played hockey. After 2 months, they fired the coach in a city called Regensburg, Germany. Because I was the best player back then, they said, Mark, take over as the player coach. In German, it's called Spielertrainer. And that was hard, but a lot of lessons learned, a lot of mistakes. But I was young, 24, 25, survived 2 years, got burnt out. And then I came back to hockey and came back to Canada and took some time. And then I started a year in Australia and got working with people in this training business and met some wonderful people for a year and slowly came back to ice hockey. And you learn a lot of lessons. Sport can be a good teacher, especially losing. I got fired. And I just got into this whole leadership area because that's usually the missing part. Most leaders have a technical skill set and other competencies, but they need to think about leadership.
Yeah, I've heard it often said where, leadership can often be sort of a cap on a business. Your leadership abilities really determine kind of, where you can go in life. And if you want to improve your life, leadership is one of the, great areas to start. So your book, it follows the story of Sue. She's a newly appointed CEO of a company, and Michael, who's a leadership trainer. And you've woven the story in a way that, is educational, but it's story-based, so it's memorable. Can you explain a bit about the story and what the main events of the story are through your book?
Sure. The first book we wrote was called Being on Mission. And that was about a person named Michael. And the story ended, and it was Michael's journey. And so Lynda and I spent actually about 4 years and talking, discussing. Lynda's a great creative soul and spirit. And then we said, let's try to finish this off with Sue in the main role. And it's about her transformation. Because I really believe personal development has to come before team development. A lot of people say, oh, the team has to change. I got to get my people to change. Well, that's all good. But let's look at yourself. It's an inside out process. Inside out leadership. And the story is about Sue getting clarity on her values, getting clear on who she is, getting clear on her strengths. And that process, that growth, finding her mission eventually helps her with the team. And she learns to be vulnerable, to connect. So then we get into the team building part of the story. And her path crosses with this guy named Michael, him and his wife, who were the leads in the first book. They end up back in Winnipeg, they're Germans, and the stories then sort of intertwine. And it's a lot of heavy lifting to read the book, but there's some good messages. And the biggest one is start with yourself. Second one is leadership is a choice. It's not a title. People get titles and I go, come on, but lead, step up and lead. The word lead is a verb. But you got to give people some tools. I mean, again, if you only give a man a hammer and a laptop, is all he's going to do is hammer out emails, and that's managing. He'll spend all day managing. And I really believe in females. My whole team, except one, is females. And I've been into this whole area of diversity that's becoming so strong, and women and their power. And I mean, I've had women run my business and be part of my team all my life. Without them, I wouldn't have a business. And it's just becoming popular now. But I've always believed in this. My mom was a strong leader, and in the school area. It's wonderful to have role models, and Sue is a role model. She lives what I teach way more than I live it.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was Women's Day. What was it, yesterday or the day before?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what gets me excited. It's like we're just waking up that women are strong as anybody else on the planet, and we should have a team with at least 50 to 60% women to get full power. But it's just like people are waking up. Oh, I never realized this before. Well, come on.
They have kind of a special ability for making sure everybody's involved and that group mentality of that everyone's taken care of and we're doing this together. Definitely, yeah.
One of our principles in the book, one of the key of the 10 principles, the core of what we teach, called Being on Mission. One of the principles is the principle of involvement and diversity. Too many leaders try to be the genius in the room because being the genius, the smartest one, got them to the top. But I say to them, that's not your job now. Find the genius in the room, find the brilliance, get the synergy, get involvement, get yourself out of the way, facilitate and create synergy. Give your people a platform to find problems and find solutions. But that's going to be a while till a lot of the men get it.
Yeah,
women get it.
Help other people, bring out their genius and enable them to really progress and develop, right? Yeah.
So exciting if we could do that. And then we'll grow the young talents. Otherwise, the talents don't grow because we just tell them what to do and micromanage. And it's sad for the young talents. That's why they leave. Because the old saying I learned in Holland, you don't quit your job, you quit your boss. And that's a shame, right?
Yeah. Yeah, a good connection of mine. He always says the biggest wasted resource on the planet is human potential, and it rings very true, for sure. So
really strong statement. Really strong statement. That human potential, and that's what I'm all about. People say, "What are you about?" I'm about affirming people's potential so clearly, that they see it in themselves, and that makes all the difference. But we need people to do that, and women do that better than men.
Yeah, right on. So there's a great point in the book, and you talked about your previous book called Being on Mission. So can you elaborate on that? What does that mean, and how can we incorporate that into our thinking in our daily lives?
Great question. Hard question. A lot of different opinions when you get that word mission into things.
Yeah.
The idea, and I'm running now some camps called Vision Camps and Vision X camps for young adults. And the idea that I really work with them, I start with getting really clarity, helping people get clarity on what matters most, which means our core values. Not the ones hanging on the wall in the companies, but the real personal, private, professional core. And then I get people to start think of possibilities, what I want to be, what I want to experience and give and do, the visionary part. So I really work on values and vision. And I'll just show a simple picture here.
Yep.
And
sure.
If this is, vision, what I want to be, what I see as possibilities, the ideal picture to give, to become. And here is the core values. This is what matters most, privately, professionally, on the I and on the we level, if you have a partner. And then you can get clear on your roles. If I always say it gives us certain roles, like being a father, a partner, a friend, a son, a brother, a manager, a coach, a leader. You get your roles, a member of a club or a band or a charity. Those are roles. Yep. And I always say clear vision and clear values gives you clear roles, and it gives you clear goals. And each week you could put some big rocks in your agenda. That means that matters most this week. And if I live that, if I execute based on that, I'm going to have a big smile on my face. 22 muscles are going to tighten, 14 will relax, and people say, wow, that guy's happy. Of course that guy's happy, because if you do the things that connect your values and your vision, you're fully on mission. That's when you say no to what matters least, so you can say yes to what matters most. And that's the things that pull you this way. Sometimes get you up early, and you're living your values, not just saying it and hanging it on the walls. You live your values. That's on mission. Poof, that's congruent.
Right on. Yeah, great little diagram there of how things can stack, and you have your overall vision, and everything kind of stems from your values, which is very true. Your values you can use them to decide, what makes you happy and what you should be doing. But it also, people who maybe haven't thought about their values don't realize that what they're doing throughout their day, throughout their week, is all stemming from their values. And if they're not clear on those, then it's, like you said, there's incongruences that can happen there. So,
and if you're not living your values, once you realize that and you see it, then you realize why you're sad quite often, why there's a lack of happiness. And we have to be happy. I mean, it's all about the pursuit of happiness. And for me, the byproduct of living your values and moving toward a vision is happiness. That comes out of it. And you see happy people, I'll guarantee you they're clear on their mission, on their purpose. They've defined what matters most, what direction they're going, and they know their core and they live it, not just hang it up in the coffee cup and on the walls. That's on mission.
Perfect. Yeah. Wonderful. Thanks for clarifying and describing that for us. And in your book, I got a good sense that you have like a holistic approach to life, which you've just kind of outlined a bit there, and to leadership. So how has this helped you, like personally and professionally, you know, when you're living what you're talking about here with your vision and your roles? What do you see holistically, and how has this helped you in your journey to where you are now?
Well, about 80% of trainings to do with leadership, or maybe 90, focus just on the leader or the manager, and just gives you tools and checklists and methods and look at your style of leading. But you know what? That's too small. That's because we're a whole person.
Yeah.
We have relationships, we love, we have our body, vitality. So it had to be more. I realized we have to be aware of the whole, that we are a whole, and the whole has to work together. You have to take care of your body. You have to do some kind of physical renewal, some kind of mental renewal, emotional, spiritual, social, to stay whole. And you got to be aware of that and set some goals on that, because that's the base.
Yeah.
And the question how it really helped me. So I was coaching professional hockey in Switzerland. Had a pretty big ego, was quite arrogant, because you have to be to survive in that world.
Yeah.
And had the big fancy cars every year, the nice apartments, and thought life was really good. But at one point I woke up and I was climbing the ladder that I thought was to success. I was involved with Team Canada. I thought I might get back to the NHL and really show what I could do and make the big money and have a great life and show I made it as a coach, but not as a player. But at some point I woke up and I just took these off, because I've been just chasing. I've been just running, climbing that ladder, taking courses on how to climb it faster and stuff like that. And you know what? I realized the real core values. Even my mom once said to me, her name's Vivian, she said, "Mark, what are you doing? This is not how you live. This is not you." When your 65-year-old mom starts questioning you. And then I realized my kids, the emotional bank accounts were empty, and it was impacting them and my wife and my health. And I realized the ladder that I've been climbing, when I figured this stuff out, it just hit me over the head. That ladder is against the wrong wall. I'm not on the planet to win a hockey game. I'm not here just for that. That was fun. That helped me develop and grow. Great sports, a good teacher. But I realized I'm here to give something back and help others and help them see their potential, not just on a hockey rink.
Yep.
And I had to realize the whole of it all. And so I built that into my program.
Yep. Great. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that with us, and kind of helping us understand, you know, your kind of shift of where you know, in your life, where you kind of realized where your mission was, or your purpose was. So that was great. And we've talked about, you know, True North. It's the name of the book. So can you kind of give us a bit of advice as far as, you know, finding your true north, or what the true north can mean in someone's life?
Yeah, wonderful question. To find true north, it is a process. It's not going to happen over time. It takes a lot of reflection, a lot of heavy lifting. And of course, most people don't have the time, or don't think they have the time to do the heavy lifting. And a lot of it actually starts right here. It starts with getting clear on your core values. And a big part of it is thinking of what are the gifts that you were given? What are the gifts you have to play with, which are strengths and competencies, and some are natural, some are learned. And when you become aware of that, you become aware of when is life ideal? When are you in flow? And you start to think of, I call it your happiness memories. When you're really happy, what were you doing? And you slowly put the puzzles together of strengths, and what are you passionate about? And what are your core values from your DNA, from mom and dad? And your ambitionary values that you want to bring into your life. And as you get the clarity and you start to see it, because you see that vision, as Stephen Covey says in the book, The 7 Habits, you begin with the end in mind. And once you get some clarity on all that, but that takes a lot of work. It doesn't happen in a 5-day course. It just, you start a process. But suddenly it's just like being on a ship in the Lake of the Woods where I spend my summers. You get behind those 14,600 islands somewhere, and the only chance you have is to have a compass, and it'll always turn to true north. And that's when you can say no to things, and you can say no to toxic people, to say no to what matters least. You can turn down the TV and turn up the love. You can say yes to sport and healthy whole foods. Then decisions become easy, because true north is always there, and it pulls you. It gets you back on track. Of course, like me, I get way off track sometimes. But between my wife and my 2 kids named Ryan and Kate, they give me hard feedback, and somehow I steer back and get behind that true north, because you got to know why you're here. Who I am and what am I here to do? What is my real purpose? What am I all about? Because I only got 60 years to go, right? I'm 60 now. That's I got to get on mission. True north has to be found, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, great analogy of, like, finding your true north. And like you said, we all get off track and things happen and stuff comes up, but having that compass to kind of bring us back and to where we're pointed in the right direction. And you, like you said, it takes time. It's a discovery process. It's one step after the other, and it's something that like once you find it, that's wonderful. But there's a process to it, right? It can take some time. So it's not something.
And Derek, maybe just a quick one. And over time, though, you do start to create habits and daily rituals, because that's what athletes have, right? I've worked my whole life with athletes, and my 2 kids were athletes. And the secret is the habits that lead to success, and those daily rituals. And just to close the book story, just like a individual can get clarity on all of this, but so can a team. Because remember the book, it says in the title, great teams are built, not born. So that means someone has to be a leader. There's got to be a leader within that team who helps that team develop. And the story of the book is a lot about teams and teams development. And that process that Sue got her team to do, and she participated, that's what made the difference. Because the great team made the difference in that story to be successful.
Yeah, great for pointing that out as well, that, there's your true north and purpose, but in a larger sense, you're helping a team kind of discover that as well, and getting everybody on the same page. So,
and that's the heavy lifting, Derek. That's the heavy lifting that most managers don't have time. They don't believe in that whole thing of doing some offsites. Good teams should spend 5 days a year working on stuff like this. Coaching, feedbacking, and getting real clarity, and getting excited. So we're fully engaged and people feel part of the journey. Right?
So to continue on that thought, what can we do to help develop our leadership skills, help to develop our team? What are some advice or some suggestions you could give someone?
Right. Well, I would start right there. If I'm speaking to someone who has a team, I would say, just try to get your team out of the office environment, whether it's for a half a day, an overnight's always good. And don't get caught on operational issues and problems. Really have good discussions about our values. Get clarity on that as a team. And what are we trying to be? How do we see the future? Get excited about creating this, the co-creation of team values and vision. And then get doing lots of feedback, give each other feedback, affirm the strengths, affirm potential, help us get feedbacks on how we live the values as individuals. But that whole process starts with the leader. And we've created a lot of exercises to build trust in the team, because most teams, there's not enough trust. And I mean trust based on being vulnerable, that the leader needs to learn. It's a development of emotional intelligence, that the leader needs to learn that they can be vulnerable. They can open up and share their story, their backstory, because by being vulnerable, the whole team starts to create that, and they start to share, and they get to know each other and become tighter and tighter, and that becomes their foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's no limits to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. So any final thoughts or things you'd like to tell our viewers, or to go into a little bit deeper?
Yeah, I think what I'd like to share with them, just especially now with COVID,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my managers and leaders feel they're getting pretty tired. They weren't expecting a year of this.
Yeah.
Either was I.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't expecting to have to work 30 or 40% more. They weren't expecting and realizing how much energy you got to put into talking to a screen without the energy coming back from your team and people. Especially the extroverts are almost dying because they need contact, they need people, they need events, right? They need the walks, the talks, the shares, the handshakes, the hugs, the beers, right? The coffees. So my point is, there's a guy named James Lohr has a great saying: you can't manage time, but you can manage your energy. And right now, the key is to find time to manage your energy. I talk about one time, that's your own time. Time for you, especially introverts, to recover, re-energize in some way. 2 time, that's with the person that matters most. 1-to-1 time, it's called 2 time, which is with your daughter, with your son. Most of my clients, as they get older, like me at 60, 65, they say, I just didn't find enough 1-to-1 time, because that's when you love and you connect. And then there's 4 time, that's when the whole family sits around, because most families have 2 adults and 2 kids. 4 time is family time, where you don't invite your friends. You don't invite the mother-in-law or the mom. It's just family, right? And there's no TVs, right? And then there's 5 time, where you open it up to invite friends, community, and social areas. But what happens now, people forget about the renewal. Got to renew physically, emotionally, some more love, more romance, more touch, more talk. Got to renew mentally, read, learn, podcasts, right? And spiritually. Spiritual renewal means come back to values and vision and spark your spirit to live and your purpose and your meaning. And that sparks the spark, and the physical level and mental all just make you, I believe, bulletproof. That's my belief, but you got to do it. You can't delegate that stuff.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Thanks for, kind of giving us the different types of time there. I think that was very, very valuable, very useful to explain, how there's our time, there's one-on-one time, family time, and then, time with community, friends, larger groups. So that's wonderful. So the book again is True North by Mark McGregor and Lynda Dobbin-Turner. You can find it on Amazon. We'll put a link in the comments.
Here's a picture of it if you want. There you go.
So right there.
True North.
True North. Pick it up, read it. Great book on leadership. And if people would like to connect with you, Mark, what's a good way to do that?
Well, actually, what people should think about, I'm just finishing off a new website. The website's live, but I've got 2 tools in the website. So they could go to www, just my name, markmcgregor.ch, C like Charlie, H like Harry. And on the website, what they would find is a self-evaluation. It should be coming live in about 2 weeks, where they could look at, with a quick questionnaire, how they live the personal 10 principles. And then they could even do the team challenge and look at how their team lives as a team. And because I have something called the 10 habits of high performance teams. And they could get a quick snapshot of how the team lives and how they live. And that might be interesting. So they can reach out, and I enjoy contact, and who knows, might see them someday at Kenora at one of my programs on Lake of the Woods.
Yeah, definitely wonderful. So yeah, check out that resource, the website there. We'll put some links in the comments, make it easy for people to tap or click, whatever you prefer. I want to thank you, Mark, for coming on here and sharing with us about your book and helping us, develop as leaders. So yeah, just a lot of gratitude for you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. It was enjoyable. Stay on mission. Keep living aligned to your values, right? That's all you can do. Just do it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Derek.
Perfect. So yeah, stop the live there. Great interview. Really appreciate you coming on here. You got a wonderful energy. I really like your philosophy, your outlook here for sharing with us. So
Okay,
yeah,
Derek.
wonderful.
Good,
And
good teamwork, good synergy from the two of us. And you think if there's any way you think you could connect with what I do, I connect, and we can create some synergy and make the pie bigger, right?
yeah,
All good.
100%. Yeah. Who are your clients ideally, or maybe tell me a little
Yeah,
bit about your programs or what you're
yeah,
looking to grow into for the future.
right. So I got lucky. I because I came from hockey, I got into working with some business schools, and so I got to meet literally thousands of middle managers.
Okay.
And then, so my clients are all companies, and now some of these middle managers become executives and CEOs, and they met me in a course on leadership. So I do courses,
Yep.
and then ideally I connect with people, and then they come to my deep dive courses in Kenora or here in Southern Germany where I am. That's where they then go to. So, but my typical client is someone in business. It's either a high potential that the company believes in, or a middle manager. And then I often work with their teams. So I do a lot of team development stuff, which also be cool for you to learn. So I mean, if you could ever win a project and sell me, and then you'd come with me and you could see in 3 days all the tools I use, and just turn that into what you do as well, right? It'd be a win-win,
Definitely. That'd be very interesting. That'd be kind of like next level for me.
Yeah, that's your next level. Your next level is stepping it from coach to then working with it. So a lot of my people I coach, I only coach about 6 to 10 every year, but then they invite me because there's so much trust built. Then they say, Mark, could you help me with my team development? Because they personally don't have the tools.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Right on. Are you a part of any like business or mastermind groups or anything like that?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I might connect you if you're open to it. I'm part of a mastermind group with someone who I connected with. He's kind of similar to yourself in age. He's gone through, worked with a lot of larger companies and stuff like that. And he's developing a company right now that facilitates mastermind groups. And I'm in one of their groups. And I think you two would have possibly quite a bit in common. And I think you might be a good fit. So
Sure.
if you're okay with that, I'll connect you guys, and you can have a conversation and see if if there's some synergy there or what have you. But yeah, really great guy. His name's Greg Barretts, and
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I'll do that. And yeah, likewise, if you know any small business owners who are looking to get started out, I help local businesses, but mostly Canadian businesses, because it's what I know. But
yeah, right. Yeah, no, that's good. You stay in your area of expertise, and if you ever found a team that wanted to do something, we could do it together. They could come out to Kenora for 2 or 3 days. If you ever want to, just keep that in mind. That would be a wonderful way for you to learn what I do, and of course create another business model.
Yeah. For sure. So yeah, we'll keep in touch, keep connected.
Good, Derek.
And once again, thanks so much for coming on the interview. And
more than welcome.
Yeah. Okay. Right
cool.
on.
It was fun.
Have an awesome day.
Now.
Take care.
Good evening. I'm going for a beer. One of us needs one. Bye bye.
Yeah. Perfect.
Cheers.